right, everybody, how are you doing? I had to come out here to the car to make the video because they're doing construction in my house. We're getting it totally remodeled, and there's like power tools going on every 3 minutes. So there's not 10 minutes of quiet that I can make the video, so I can't had to come out here to do it. Now, I want everybody to breathe in some positivity. Breathe it in, because I've heard nothing from the Dallas Cowboy fan base and out of Valley Ranch but negative stuff, negative stuff, negative stuff. And of course, I'm going to have to go through some of this negative stuff in this video, but I'm going to try to keep it as positive as possible, and try to keep it as real as possible at the same time. All right, the big news this week, in my opinion, was the fact that Mo has been benched. Now, it's not a total benching, because I think he's going to be playing that third corner position, and we're going to put Scandrick on Welker because Scandrick matches Welker's quickness a little bit more. And I think, if I heard, I don't remember personally, I heard that Scandrick did pretty well against Welker the last time we played, when we almost beat the undefeated Patriots. A similar game to this game that's coming up now. So that's going on with Mo, and Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless was talking about it on First Take, and I kind of agree with them, as far as making him a scapegoat. But a coach has to be able to call a player out to get a player to play better. So I don't think this is more of a scapegoat situation as was the other situations, which, after each one of them, I came on video and told you they were scapegoats. After T.O., I said T.O. was a scapegoat. After Wade, I said Wade was a scapegoat. After Rob Ryan, I said Rob Ryan was a scapegoat. All these guys were left Dallas, and they took all the blame on what was going on with Dallas. And our whole mentality was, okay, now they're gone, we're going to be better, which was wrong. And the same cast of characters that scapegoated those guys are still here making the same mistakes, Garrett. All right, now the status on Miles and Ware needs to be monitored throughout the week, because we're going to need both of those guys close to 100% to be able to compete with the Broncos. We're going to need Ware's pressure. My God, we're going to need Ware's pressure, and we're going to need Miles to take some pressure off of Dez Bryant. Now, this week, another thing we heard was Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones both said that Romo needs to start forcing the ball into Dez. And I'm totally not with that. I think we need to go to Dez more often. I think we need to find ways to get Dez open, but I don't think we need to throw it in there in double coverage, because sometimes you'll get some great plays because Dez is great, but sometimes you'll get some interceptions because maybe the corner is baiting them, or Tony doesn't see how to get it in there in double coverage all the time, and those can result in pick sixes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't agree with that. And I wish Steven and Jerry would stop trying to coach the team and let the coaches coach the team. If they're GM, go out and get the talent and do the things you have to do on the GM level, but quit trying to coach the team. Poor Tony Romo. Poor Tony Romo. I fell off the Tony Romo bandwagon back during the TO days. So I'm not like a Romo fanatic that's going to go around going Romo's the greatest. But Romo is in a tough situation because they don't want him to go through the stuff he went through last year with all these interceptions and being talked about and being laughed about and all that kind of stuff. They don't want him to do that. So they made the offense so conservative to where it's a dink and dunk offense, and he doesn't go down the field because we don't want those mistakes. And they put that in Romo throughout the offseason and making him a more careful quarterback and protecting the football. Now, when he's doing that and they can't get anything else going with their schemes, with their routes, with their running the ball, with all the kind of stuff that they want to do, they can't get anything else going. So they go, oh, Romo, just throw it in there. And which is not a solution. Run good offense, that's a solution. Not throw it in there if just because Dez is great. That's no good. So again, poor Tony Romo. I'm pulling for him to try to make something out of this because he's in a horrible situation right now. So what is wrong with this offense? I think I've been telling you over and over and over, year after year, this offense isn't as good as it looks on paper. It has not been as good as it looks on paper for a while. We stall, we stall, we stall, we stall. And last year, because we had a Romo that would throw the ball around, at the end of the game, at least we had a chance because we would throw the ball around and we would try to get into the end zone at the end of the half and at the end of games. And a lot of times it worked. It was kind of working versus San Diego until Terrence Williams T. Willie lost the football, fumbled the football. So I don't know. I think we need to make a decision. We can't go around blaming the running game. Oh, we need a running game. There's New Orleans has no sign of a running game. If you watch that game Monday night, they didn't even attempt, even when they were up, they didn't attempt to run the ball. They have a passing offense, and that's the way they roll. So if we're going to be that, let's be that. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to be a running team, let's be that. Let's commit to one side of the football, because once we commit, you can start playing around it, and you can start playing to your strengths. If we don't commit, and we abandon the run every time we get ready, then it's just not going to work, because we're in teeter-totter land, and that's no good. As for the defense, again, I wasn't on board. There's a lot of things I wasn't on board with. I wasn't on board with paying Romo all this money in the contract, and we please don't go to overthecap.com, because I was there for like 5 minutes and I saw a lot of stuff, being that could be potentially big problems next year. We're going to have to restructure him. We're going to have to restructure a lot of the players, and it's just going to the cap situation is just messed up, and I was hoping that maybe we can get some, cap friendly players in here, some young players, and start to remake this Cowboy team. That's not going to happen. As for the D, I wasn't with the 3-4 to the 4-3, because I know it takes time to transition that. It takes time for these new players to get this offense, get this defense, and you're seeing Sean Lee, and you're seeing definitely Bruce Carter suffer because they have to use a new defense, learn a new defense. Mo blamed his struggles on learning a new defense. So everybody's got to learn something new, and we can't expect them, which most of the Cowboy base was. We can't expect them to go, oh, we're running this new defense now, it's going to be great, because it takes a while. DC Fanatic and I have said that all the time. Every time you bring in a new defensive scheme, it takes a while for it to get into the player's DNA. And it's we're going through those pains right now. Secondly, I didn't think we had the specific players for that. We had built players, as in Mo, as in these press cover corners. We had brought in players for Rob Ryan's 3-4 defense, specifically for it. We paid a lot of money for them, and now we're going to say, oh, they can play the 4-3-3-2. So it kind of irked me a little bit. And last game with the Chargers was a game that all my fears were coming true. The pass rush, we couldn't get to the quarterback because, when Ware got hurt, which, in my mind, I like, Ware's probably going to get hurt. He was hurt a lot last year, so he's probably going to get hurt. So in my mind, I would have prepared for Ware getting hurt and brought somebody in to back him up, and brought somebody in to help out on that, someone who can bring consistent pressure like Ware or close to Ware. You know what I'm saying? It's not anybody like Ware. But the only constant defensive player we have right now is Jason Hatcher. And I think he's played himself out of any future with the Dallas Cowboys, because he's going to get a big contract and he deserves it. So that's going on with the D, and I think we're just going to have to be patient and hope it starts to click with those guys. All right. Now to the game versus Denver. Too much Peyton. You turn on TV, it's all about Peyton and Denver, and Peyton and Denver, and Denver, and Denver, and Denver. I'm so tired of hearing it. Now, I will say, if we lose, I don't think we're going to lose as bad as those other guys have lost to them. I don't think they're going to put 52 on the board with us like they did against Philadelphia. A lot of those were returns and stuff like that. They're added points on top of what Peyton was getting. So I don't think we're going to get all that. Now, I do fear our defense versus Peyton. The 2 times we beat him before, I was there the first time we beat him with our 3-4 defense, and that was a legit win. And I hung out with the players. Chris Candy spoke into my camera, said we're going to beat Peyton and give him his first loss. That was a wonderful time. The second time we beat him, I think it was like a 50% Peyton. Peyton wasn't himself at all. Sean Lee picked him off a few times, and I think it was our schemes, our 3-4 that kind of confused him a little. The Tampa 2, we're going to have to figure something out to trick him, because as Tony Dungy said, Peyton has practiced against that defense his entire career. He knows that defense ins and outs, and we're going to have to come up with some real tricks to be able to trick Peyton in that defense. So that is going to be a serious problem. The guy's just too smart. You show him a couple of things, and he's going to remember it, and he's going to be on top of it like 100%. So we're going to have to worry about that. And we're going to have to worry about getting to Peyton. We got to get to him, and once we get to him, we can probably shake him up a little bit. But other than that, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle. I do think we'll have a chance, but it's going to be a struggle. All right, guys, I will see you Sunday and talk about what happens. Hopefully we pull it out, but if we don't, we can't stop this train. All right, peace out.